Hi, I am Rose Lambert, elite matchmaker, dating and relationship coach for Palm Beach's most elite, successful singles. And also, I am a mystic. I'm coming out of a closet, and well, I am just gonna admit it. I didn't talk about before because when people don't understand, they call woo-woo, and they just call you crazy when they don't understand what you're talking about. But I realize it's important for me to share to help others, and I'm just gonna let it go. People could say whatever they want. Yes, I am a light worker. Yes, I am a mystic. I was born in Turkish village, and my grandmother was a shaman. My spirituality helped me all my life, and I came to United States when I was 19 years old, and I didn't have a higher education, and I had dyslexia, and I have attention deficit disorder, but I always earned equally successful, had a great, comfortable lifestyle with people who went to college, become a doctors and lawyers. And I was entrepreneur, but I know the secrets. I know how to create my own reality. And the years later, when the Book of Secret came out, I read it. I said, "Is this was a secret?" I thought everybody knew because when you get used to that becomes part of your life and you think everybody else knew. Well, I did matchmaking for so many years as a hobby because I was an entrepreneur. I helped so many people, so many successful men in New York, Miami, Palm Beach, Aspen, California, wherever the single successful men are. Uh, I had few gas stations and thousands of people were coming in and out every month. I had a business designing ballroom and Latin gowns and stage costumes, and I had worked with entertainment companies, and so I did exporting and importing, and I was always a very active, independent woman. Uh, but 2017, my life changed. I had a spiritual awakening after losing a dear friend to loneliness epidemic, and I decided to give up my business, uh, help people with the loneliness epidemic. And I quickly become one of the top matchmaker in Palm Beach County by elite singles. uh, I start seeing the reality, what's happening, because never ever been in history so many beautiful, successful women out there having a hard time finding their best match. And never ever been ever in history, successful men had so many women available options. And today, I don't think people have a problem of finding a match. People have a problem of like overloading the men, the type of men who is successful. Uh, they have all the women chasing them, but there's a type of man doesn't have the income. Nobody's bothering to give a time of day to them. So it's just not aligning well. Because women today they don't need men's money to survive, but women subconsciously programmed to be attracted to provider, powerful men. Well, money represents a power. Today, we don't need men's physical power like back in days. We needed men to go hunt and bring food back home. Like I'm talking about from Stone Age and hunting and gathering times. And later on, we needed men's protection. But today, we're living in the modern times. We don't need men to protect us anymore. But that subconscious thinking, we still need a strong man No, we don't need that much of strong men. We are becoming a strong woman. Woman could fly, airplanes, and I mean joining the army, and women are independent. Women are accomplishing amazing things, and uh, becoming a world leaders, and I mean in every business you could think of, women are succeeding in politics and medical field. We have CEOs, we have owners, and we have entrepreneurs. We have, amazing ladies out there. We did great. But with that, the challenge came is we don't have equal number of men to match with the same success level. I believe universe playing hide and seek. Say, okay, I made you successful. You have the money. Now you could be the man of the house, the head of the household. And I was that woman. I dated very wealthy men. I date billionaires. But I always turned around, married men. Uh, I was still the provider in the house. Uh, I didn't know, but I listened. That time, I didn't know, but I listened instead of my ego. Everybody told me you could do better. Some people were telling me, tell your boyfriend to pull his car into garage, lowering our property values. My second husband, before we got married, and he wasn't, very wealthy, rich man, and he didn't have it. But he moved into my house, and I felt the closeness. Something was saying he is the one. And I listened my heart instead of my ego. And years later, when I figured it out, when I learned how to read the numerology, and because I'm always asking, I'm always growing, because learning is endless. You never, ever know everything. I'm still learning. And we all, we don't know the truth. We could never know all the truth because there's nothing truth or wrong, because it just depends where you're looking from and what level, uh, your, you know, vision, where you're looking from. So what side you're looking from, and what part of your time you're looking for. So later on, I learned that was the best decision I made. That was the best decision I made. The reason I have my life path numbers are master numbers. Master numbers are basically, I was programmed to lead. If I didn't lead, what's happening to those ladies, and I seen these happening over and over and again. That's why I'm making this video. What happening? There's too much energy. These are master numbers. It's like having this nuclear energy in you, and you're gonna do, great in your work, or you're gonna do great things. And I was providing for my family back in Turkey. I was providing for my employees. At one point, I had, when I was doing costumes, I had 150 people in Turkey who's working for me. So all these people are depending on me for providing for their families. At one point, I was going to go and decide to work in the medical field, helping my second husband. And they told me, please, because they had an earthquake, and after the earthquake, they were building their homes and getting their kids married or paying off their debts. They said, like, we still need you. So I worked 2 more years to support those people so they could be in a better place when I quit that costume business. So they didn't have to work for me anymore. But I listened to those people. So I'm a provider. So I'm a leader. Taking a position, being a supportive wife, not using my energy. What's happening to those women are getting sick because they have too much energy, and they're in the just, oh, my husband will protect me. My husband will take care of me. I'm tired of working. It was my biggest goal, like being a housewife, because I was always working. And I was like, when I was going to work in the morning, I used to like kind of, I'm never a jealous person. I was just only like kind of, I have to admit, like kind of, envied those women sleeping or just making their husband's breakfast and going back to sleep or watching morning shows. And I wasn't able to do that for so many years. But I learned it was my soul choose to be a leader, and this was a new generation of women coming to this earth, and that was making us successful in business. But if we choose a wrong partner, that could attack us. And I seen, a couple of women with the high life path numbers, and they start getting sick. And that's why I decided to do this video. Check your life path numbers. I wish somebody told me this many, many years ago. How you do that? Everybody has a chat GBT now. Put your birthday, put your year of, name, and name has letters and numbers. They all have vibration. And ask ChatGPT to do the numerology. And I want to know my life path number and then read what it means for you. But it would not give you exact, but at least you would know and start learning more. But if you want more professional, you could contact me and I will connect you with somebody who will give you a more better, and or I could help you out. But I'm not trying to sell you anything, okay? That's why I'm saying do it with ChatGPT. Don't even call me. I don't want to be like making this video to so you could buy from me or you could work with me. No, I want you to just know the truth, because there's so many successful women and they're like looking for a successful provider, traditional type of man. That might not be the right match for you. And learn before you meet somebody, and before you get yourself into a situation, before you lose your health. And I looked at with a bunch of my friends and people I work with, and like, for example, if your journey was here to teach, spiritually guide people, but if you're not following your path, maybe your time will be over. So it's serious. Seriously. I mean, we did this. I'm not making it up. You could work with ChatGPT and ask. And so these are real things. Why people didn't talk about these things? These are ancient knowledge. And I learned these learning spirituality, spent years I didn't know until recently. Uh, but I knew how to create reality. But if you have the money, if you have the success, and educate yourself, because yes, order to be happy in life, we need our health first, and then we need wealth, because without money, we can't do anything. That's the living in the Western world, and we're not living in the somewhere in the mountain village where I come from. So it was the bare minimals, like you grow your own vegetables and everything. But now that's becoming a kind of style. People kind of missing that. It's everybody just, wanted to be modern. Now they're going to the more organic ways. Maybe that was the better, but we just chased to modern lifestyle. Now we're missing the all that old traditional ways. Anyway, and then when you have your health, your wealth, you need love to just fulfill your life journey. This is we are souls coming to earth to learn lessons, grow, become love, and source experiencing itself through us. And so we are not dying with our body. We are infinite beings. And if you don't learn in this life cycle, if you don't awaken, and if you don't complete, you're going to keep coming reincarnating again. because that's the purpose. And that's why our memories are wiped out. But today, more and more people are awakening because we're shifting. Times are shifting and awakening happening. And hopefully, more and more people gonna awaken. And with the AI in our life and a lot of technologies advancing, hopefully this nonsense wars will end too, because we don't need it. And in order to end that, it's actually no evil in the world. Just when the light doesn't exist, and they're just more people awaken, everything will be peaceful, and everybody will carry the light, and then we would not have the darkness. And that's why I'm saying there is no evil. It's just not the light, not enough light yet. But the more people awaken, and some people were saying, some of the news a couple of months ago, we heard about with the I don't want to even say his name, like a lot of horrible things in that person. Uh, but you know what? Those kind of things were happening back in history. People were like more barbaric. There was in the ancient Romans, like they were gladiators fighting until the end. People were watching. They were hanging people in the front of people's eyes. And now today, we have human rights and we have animal rights, and we are changing. We're evolving. And with that evolvement, also, we cannot get stuck with the old knowledge. And uh, if the source created you being a provider, maybe you don't need such a rich man. Maybe you need a man who's rich with, like the some of the things you need in your life. Maybe you need a good man to empower you. Like boost whatever you're doing and help you become the best you can be. And there's a lot of different ways of having a relationship and couples life. And I feel like universe, like hiding uh, our great partners and saying, go find it. And that's what it is. When our die, we never gonna say, I wish work more. I wish we had more money, because we're not gonna be able to take it. All those homes, cars, and jewelry all stay here. But the things we're gonna take is our memories we create with our friends, family, our loved ones, raising children, all that connection. And nobody less than one another, because somebody has less money doesn't mean that's a less human. We are in soul level all equal. Person who is homeless on the street corner, God loves that. The God, creator, whatever you call, doesn't matter what religion you're from, but it's only one creator. And creator loves all of us equally. And when this game is over, we're all equal. And everybody was playing their part. Even the person you thought uh, didn't have the title, didn't have all those shiny toys and beautiful homes, it might be the much bigger, higher soul than all of us. So do never judge people, and just follow your heart, and your heart will tell you if you're looking at the person's eyes, and if you see looking at you with the care and love, and if you feel secure, if you feel adored, if you feel that person gonna treat you the way you should be treated. And you could tell from the energy. But today, sometime I do see women are not even giving the time of the day to that ever to happen. And they're like, like kind of more obsessed with, I'm not saying everybody, but some women are like, for example, um, 30 years older man could be her father, and she's gorgeous young woman because he has money. And well, come on. I mean, that didn't happen back in these. Yes, I am not judging if it wasn't rich man. If it was older man, but humble man, okay, I could believe that. But when he has so much money, and I cannot say like she's falling in love with him for who he is, but she's falling in love with the you know financial freedom and what he could give it to her. But is she going to find a happiness in the finances? Is she going to find a happiness having that expensive jewelry or bag? And those are not the real happiness. That's not the real partnership. Real partnership, having somebody really you could count on and be there for you. And, so it could be your best friend. And I'm not judging the age differences. I'm judging when it just the financial thing is becomes a big thing because yes, I am matching very well to men, and that's how I find out. You know, like sometimes I get calls from girls like in their 20s, and I'm saying, "Did you know like my client is in his 70s?" It's like, "It's okay." Like, honey, it's just so just focus on growing in your spirituality and growing in you know, growing your heart and don't listen your ego because ego could tell you, more money is better. No, it's more love is better. And I do see so many happier people with a lot less than I do see a lot of miserable people have everything, but they can't find happiness. And so it's not how much money you have, but how much peace and love you have in your life and how passionate about one another, how good time you're having with each other. And that makes you, that makes the life really worth living. Thank you for listening.